Hey everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Vishal and I'm a Senior Tech Marketing Manager here at Alteryx. Alteryx enables intelligent decisions for all by providing the leading platform to automate analytics across all systems to drive better business outcomes at scale. More than 8,400 customers across all industries and line of business rely on Alteryx, and we have over 400,000 active users who collaborate in our online community. Alteryx supports insight-driven organizations with unified solutions in the cloud, from automated data preparation and analytics, approachable machine learning, geospatial analytics, and automated insights with data stories. From marketing analysts to accountants, sales to operations, Alteryx lets everyone, not just the data scientists, harness the power of analytics. Let's imagine that I'm an analyst for the Environment Agency, and I've been asked to assess the impact of flooding and all the associated risks in the UK from an agricultural and socio-economic perspective. The BBC predicts that there's a 20% increase in flood risk due to climate change, which is pretty concerning given that the current cost of flood damage is around £700 million, despite a total capital budget of £5.2 billion associated for flood defences. Now my job is to figure out the regions with the highest flood risk to help my executive team prioritise the allocation of that capital budget. So I roll up my sleeves and get to work, using Alteryx's AI-powered platform to quickly generate insights and identify trends to see where I should focus my analysis. As a single analytics platform, I've got the flexibility to dive into any aspect of analytics, from data prep and blend, all the way to auto-generated insights, model building, deployment, and geospatial analytics. To understand and explore the flood areas impacted, I'm going to use Alteryx to have a KPI deep dive built out for me. The best part, I don't have to create any of this insight manually like I used to with other platforms. Everything has been automatically generated with AI, not in hours and weeks, but in seconds. Oh wow, as we can see, Yorkshire and the Humber region has 107.64 miles impacted by flooding, and has 11.19 times higher flood area impacted than the average region. All data stories, the analysis, the visuals have all been completely auto-generated by Alteryx, letting me focus on the insights. I can even dig in and change the metric that I want to investigate. For example, let's change the analysis to look at cropland flooding exposure, and straight away, Alteryx tells us that Yorkshire has 1.97 times higher cropland river flooding exposure than the average region. These insights told me what I needed to know, which is where to focus my analysis, and the answer is pretty clear: Yorkshire and the Humber region. Analysing the full scope and impact of the flooding problem is going to take a holistic approach, which means we need to start to investigate a wide range of data from a bunch of different sources. With our brand new cloud-connected desktop, which is part of the Alteryx Analytics Cloud platform, I can use Designer for everything, from cleaning, joining, aggregating and forecasting, clustering and text mining, and much more. I can even start writing my own custom Python scripts, something which my data science teams love doing with Alteryx today. To identify the full scale of the flooding problem, I need to explore a wide range of data from a bunch of different sources. With Alteryx, I can connect to data regardless of where it lives: files, databases, CRM systems, and so on. I can quickly look at the metadata of my datasets, showing me not only things like the data types, but also the visualytics of my data. Now this is super useful for identifying missing or messy data, guiding me on what it is I need to do next. Because it's a low-code, no-code drag-and-drop platform, I could connect to all of these different data sources, standardize the formats, and join them into a comprehensive analysis without needing to write things like complex code. And not to brag, but here, I've taken the elevation data, and in just one tool, I was not only able to join it to UK grid data, but I'm also taking a geospatial match component to combine these two datasets into one cohesive one. As I dug deeper into the data, I looked at various factors that could impact flooding, and identified vegetation, elevation, soil, rainfall, and sunshine as the ones I need to take a look at further. But more than analysing any of these one factors in isolation, I need to understand the bigger picture to mitigate those flooding risks and protect the local community. And I did this by using the pre-built tools that Alteryx had, dragging and dropping to build my workflow. Using the rich geospatial capabilities of the platform, I could create maps and grids to visualize my geospatial data, which really helped me to figure out the specific at-risk areas and understand the impact that flooding has on the landscape. My wider team also took advantage of the work that I had produced. This is because everything that happens to the data is clearly documented in this visual workflow. Any changes to the data, calculations, summarizations, and so on, are clearly and easily trackable. To top it all off, Alteryx's generative AI capabilities can look at a workflow and provide context around exactly what the workflow is doing. Like here, seeing the title, topic, and summary of the workflow all generated automatically. With all the different datasets unified and a solid understanding of the past trends, I now want to look forward and understand what will happen instead of what did, to figure out which regions the budget for flood prevention should prioritize. Now I'll be honest, I have no clue how to build a machine learning model, but I am curious, so let's switch gears from workflow building to model training, which is all part of the single Alteryx Analytics Cloud platform. I'm guided through all the different model building steps, meaning even someone like me can build advanced machine learning models easily and quickly with no-code AutoML. I'll level with you. The first time I saw the term categorical, I had no idea what it meant. Luckily for me, the platform's inbuilt education mode provides contextual hints, tips, and explanations all in plain English. This means even I can get to grips with all these concepts. Analytics really is for all. After choosing the column I want to predict, which in this case is the has floods column, Alteryx shows rich, interactive visuals so that I can understand the relationships between the different columns. Although stunning, these visualizations aren't just for show. They're intuitive and easy to use. By using the colors and their intensity, I can quickly identify the direction of a relationship and how strong the relationship actually is. I can tune the visuals to show stronger or weaker relationships. For example, there's a strong correlation between the elevation and precipitation. This is something that I thought might be the case, and I'm glad that the data backed up my hypothesis. Next, Alteryx is building a series of machine learning models for me. Not only is it building these models, but it also ranks them on a leaderboard and suggests one for me to use without a single line of code. As you can probably tell, I'm not a data scientist, but with Alteryx, even I can do the advanced stuff, like automated feature engineering, which allows for the easy creation of new features from existing data, helping even non-data scientists like me to build more accurate models and gain deeper insights into the data. I can even get stuck into model customization, tweaking things like the model evaluation settings or even choosing how much compute to use for a more accurate model. In other words, the stuff that's normally reserved for the data scientists. Want to combine multiple models and create an optimal one? No problem. Tick this box and Alteryx does it all for me. This used to take our data science team days, if not weeks, but now they and I can all collaborate to produce optimal models with Alteryx. Now that the models are built, Alteryx lets me dig deeper into what the model has found and explains why predictions are made the way that they are with model evaluation, which takes model explainability to a whole new level. The first screen shows me the accuracy, the features, sample size, performance, and more. This level of detail is an absolute dream for me, as in one place I get all the stats that I really care about. But it doesn't just stop there. The partial dependence plot shows key insights. For example here, I can see that the lower the elevation, the higher the flood risk. Interestingly, there's a slight bump at the 293 meter mark, something for me to maybe explore in the future. I can also do what-if scenario simulations by dragging the sliders for different values. The model will then be run against the new values, showing us the modeled result. All I need to do is adjust these sliders. If a site had lower elevation, was closer to the river, and the max temperature was higher, we can see what the model will predict as the likelihood of a flood. The starting prediction of a flood at this site, before we made any changes, was 58.94% of there not having a flood. And the modifications that we've made have actually changed the value quite significantly to 97.85%, meaning a pretty big reduction in flood risk. With the help of Alteryx, I was able to build a robust predictive model with AutoML that allows me and my team to identify regions that are the most at risk of flooding and understand the relationships between my different columns. I can do things like automate feature engineering, perform what-if simulations, to figure out and explain the zones that are the most at risk of flooding. The insights generated by the model can now be used to plan, budget, and take preemptive measures to mitigate the flooding risks in the affected regions. In short, Alteryx has enabled me to quickly and easily analyze complex data and generate valuable insight that can help protect the communities and safeguard livelihoods. Despite not having extensive coding skills, I could easily create the model, understand relationships, and explore different what-if scenarios through Alteryx's user-friendly interface. As the results of my analysis will continue to be used for future planning, I need to put the model into production, and a few things need to be done to make this happen. First, I need to make sure my findings are made available to the executive stakeholders. With a single click, I can export all the visuals that the model's created. All the explainability we saw earlier has been transformed into this slick slide deck. This makes communicating the importance and insight from my analysis to the execs, and how it can help protect the livelihoods of those affected by flooding. The Environment Agency's data science team may also want to understand the inner workings of the model's code, which I can provide instantly with export to Python. The Python, as well as the data for training, validation and holdout, and the JSON for features and mappings are all exported. This effectively bridges the gap between our two teams and our skill sets. It fosters better collaboration and ensures the data science team can support my work as we continue to refine the models. I can also upload more data for the model to score and integrate it with the rest of the Alteryx platform. This allows me to continuously update my analysis with new data, keeping the insights fresh and relevant. As new data becomes available, we can fine-tune our predictions and adjust our strategy for mitigating those flood risks. As a single platform, the Alteryx Analytics Cloud also gives me a robust way to automate the running of our models, including orchestration and alerting. To streamline the process, I reduce the manual touchpoints by automating the running of my model. This means the model can be run automatically when new data comes in, resulting in less human intervention and more data-driven decisions. This automation helps ensure that the Environment Agency can quickly respond to changing conditions, make informed decisions to protect communities from flooding and reduce that key man risk. I also implemented alerts and conditional logic to make sure my team and I are notified if the model's performance falls outside acceptable limits. I want to monitor the model and its performance over time, which allows us to proactively address any issues and make the necessary adjustments. This means that if there are any issues with the model, or anything that my team and I need to be made aware of, we can get notifications through emails or even Slack to make us aware of the problem when and if it happens, or even IT and DevOps can get involved with HTTP requests. This proactive approach to monitoring helps the team stay agile and responsive to any change in the model's performance. This enabled my team and me to manage the model throughout its lifecycle, from development to deployment and ongoing monitoring to ensure that it delivers accurate and reliable predictions. This comprehensive approach to model management really helped the Environment Agency to make the best possible decisions to safeguard communities from the devastating impacts of flooding. As a single platform, Alteryx lets you integrate with your tech stack seamlessly and make it work for you. There's things like Slack integrations, PagerDuty, and so on, which can all be used to make the process your own. For example, Alteryx has a vast partner ecosystem and allows for easy collaboration across technologies, such as Alteryx partner Fiddler, which provides advanced model performance management capabilities. With Fiddler, the analyst can dive into things like drift and prediction level explainability, ensuring that the model remains accurate and reliable over time. The partnership with Fiddler also allows me to better understand the reasons behind my model's predictions, allowing me to explain my results to stakeholders as well as those decision makers. This level of transparency is crucial for building the trust in my analysis, ensuring that the Environment Agency can confidently act on my recommendations. By leveraging the power of Alteryx and its user-friendly interface, I was able to build a robust predictive model to identify the regions most at risk of flooding. The insights generated by the model can now be used to plan, budget, and take preemptive measures to mitigate flooding risks in the affected regions. My work in building a predictive model was just the beginning. To effectively mitigate the risks of flooding, I need to pass my recommendations on to the exec team to take action based on the insights generated by the model, which is all made possible through the single Alteryx Analytics Cloud platform. By using rich, interactive maps and location intelligence within the Alteryx platform, I started by taking a topographical map of the Yorkshire region. I then overlaid this map with the locations where flood mitigation strategies were already in place, visually representing existing defences. This allowed me to quickly identify areas with a high risk of flooding but lacked sufficient mitigation strategies. By using the predictions generated by my model, I could then colour code different regions according to their risk levels. By doing so, I could pinpoint and recommend to the execs whether £5.2 billion of flood defence funds should be allocated to make the most effective use of that capital budget. Without any coding experience, my work provided actionable insights, crucial to protecting the livelihoods of countless farming communities. By prioritising and allocating funds to the areas that need them the most, we've helped to prevent flooding risks and prevent future damages. The findings are not only explainable and digestible, but they're also backed by data-driven insights, which made them even more valuable. I then needed to find a way to present these crucial findings to my executive team, but it had to have clarity and it had to have impact. It was essential to capture their attention and drive home the importance of this analysis, and it was all made into a reality with the Alteryx Analytics Cloud platform. Because that is where Alteryx's cutting-edge generative AI capabilities, unparalleled in the industry, came into play. With just a few clicks, the platform worked its magic, transforming raw data into a stunning, visually captivating slide deck. I also used Alteryx's generative AI capabilities to craft an email highlighting the key insights, trends, as well as the recommendations, which are to prioritise flood prevention measures in the Yorkshire and Humber region, invest in flood-resistant crops and strengthen riverbanks, and to reassess our flood management strategies and implement more proactive measures to help prepare for future floods. I'll be honest, this saved me so much time and made sure that my message really resonated powerfully with the decision makers, leaving them impressed and eager to act on my findings. To be clear, the email, its recommendations, and the slide deck were all completely created by Alteryx's generative AI capabilities. As a matter of fact, while I'm standing here today, we have our Alteryx Inspire event happening just down the road in Vegas, where these innovations are being shown off to the world and are now generally available. Through Alteryx, I was able to quickly analyze complex data and generate valuable insight that can help protect the communities and safeguard livelihoods by providing concrete data-backed analysis to my executives. In summary, this work showcases the true power of Alteryx's low-code, no-code platform. This work has really highlighted the importance of combining multiple different data sources, creating predictive models and using the insights generated by them to take decisive action. Through this process, it's demonstrated that anyone, regardless of their prior coding experience, and let's face it, even me, can generate valuable insight using Alteryx to contribute to improving the world. We believe in analytics for all, and when we empower everyone, we can honestly solve anything. Thank you.